Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we have yet again some more information regarding hyper training and increasing your IVs regarding data leaked information here. This is going to be coming from the Pokemon group, so we're going to take a look at that as well as brushing over bits and pieces of other information that we kind of knew, and then we'll come back to the end with some more new information. So we're going to start off with new information, recap on what we know, then go over some more new information. So with that said, let's go ahead and see what we have going on here. This is looking to be crazy. They're updating a whole bunch of stuff. Things are starting to look up here. I understand we just went over the fact that they're going to be increasing the remote raid limit from 5 to 10. Prices are still going to be the same for the remote raids, but at least we're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to remote raid Shadow Pokemon and Gigantamax and Dynamax. I mean, that's a pretty good deal there. I understand it's all going to cost quite a bit, but at least the option has been open for people to do that, right? But with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the hyper training and IV increase for your Pokemon here. So this is pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and get into this. So of course, this is going to be from the Pokemon group here. So we now have more details about hyper training. So let's go ahead and see here. So hyper training must be completed within a year. Okay, so there's going to be a lot. I'm going to stop a lot, but I'm going to also try to get through this quite at a decent rate. So you're going to be able to do this within a year. Now, we went over the fact that the bottle cap itself is going to be expiring fairly quick. So how does this make sense? Well, you're going to get the bottle cap. You're going to have a time limit on that. Okay, so let's just kind of do a little bit of a comparison. You get the lucky trinket that expires, right? So you're kind of forced to use it within a time period. So you pick a friend. All right, they become lucky. That does not expire. So it's going to kind of force you to use the item quickly, but at the same time, you are going to have quite a bit of time for you to actually get it done. Although lucky friends will last for as long as you have them on your list, right? So there's that difference. Just wanted to point that out there. I'm not going to stop for every single one here. Various dialogues with the team leaders and the professor. Okay, self-explanatory stuff there. You can work on the task one at a time for each stat. So, okay, that's nice. You'll receive a warning when you're trying to transfer a Pokemon that you have hyper trained already. So, you know, pretty simple stuff that we already kind of have. Just kind of warning you, all right, hey, you hyper train this. Are you sure you want to transfer this? And then you're also going to receive a warning for, let's see, so warning for Pokemon. Okay, so if a Pokemon is about to exceed a particular combat level, so let's just say it's going to go over 1500 or 2500 combat power once it's done hyper training, then it's going to give you a warning then as well. So, you know, just kind of giving you a heads up on things. Let's go ahead and move it on here. Well, let's take a look at the image. So there's lots of text that they're kind of referring to as far as that last post that was concerned. But if we go to the bottom of this here, let's see. Now, we're going to get into this part later. We have more information on this. This is going to be new information as well. Anyways, at the very bottom here, it says, but this training method requires grit, passion, and a strong bond. Okay, so do we need them to be best buddy? I'm just going to tell you right now, that doesn't seem like that, but that's going to be more information here in a minute. This image is going to be some sort of a background for hyper training. Again, I'm just putting all the information all together so you kind of understand exactly what the hell is going on. So we don't know exactly where this is going to take place, but we do have that background. We've also got this image as well, which is showing you the different kind of tasks or different kind of phases, or at least how many you're going to have to do of something. And this is going to be a little bit more clear as we do go down here. All right, for the next one here, this is still some older information. I'm just putting it all together here. Some details now confirmed. The Pokemon must be set as your buddy. Not best buddy, but as your buddy. And this is going to be a big deal when it comes down to doing this training here. You'll need to complete multiple tasks training. There is a limit before it expires. So that is going to be 1 year now that we know. This information is older compared to what we just went over. So there is a limit. The limit seems to be 1 year. Not for the bottle cap itself, but after you've picked the bottle cap and picked the Pokemon, okay? Shadow Pokemon cannot be trained. We knew this already. And it looks like some of the requirements or tasks are going to be revolving around PvP. Not sure if that means go battling itself or going up against Rocket, Grunts, or Giovanni, or just battling a friend or something like that, or maybe even just a team leader, okay? So there's that information as well. Moving it on here, I think this is some newer stuff. There doesn't seem to be any limit on how many IVs can be improved. Yes, this is some new stuff. This is some good. So there doesn't seem to be a limit on how many IVs you can train. So theoretically, you can take 0 and bring it to 100. Although this could take you quite a bit of time, Granted that getting golden bottle caps and silver bottle caps are probably going to be a very rare occurrence, like Go Fest or Unova Tour or this tour or that tour or whatever events, right? So keep that in mind. You can increase from a 0 to 100, but it's going to probably take you time, and we're not too sure how that's going to, like, the accumulation, how long it's going to take. Theoretically, okay, yeah, see exactly what I just said. So, yeah, so there's that information as well. Take a look at this video. It's just showing you a nice little visual on how this is going to look here. So you go in, you have your IVs, you're going to be able to increase it. You can pick, looks like, different ones. I would assume what's going to happen is, say you're at a 12, 13, and you raise the 12 all the way to 15, and the other one all the way to 15. For attack, you're going to have some sort of separate tasks that you're going to have to complete compared to the defense one that you did raise. So you're going to have to go through these individual tasks separately, and then eventually you're going to be able to have their IVs risen. I mean, they're giving us a year. I don't think these are going to be... I think you're probably going to be able to brush through it generally fast, but I think some things are just going to kind of hold you back in like a Wall-E way, like your buddy has to find 20 souvenirs. Okay, so see, that's what I'm talking about. You can't force that. You can kind of do it in a way, sort of, by walking a bunch. I'm sure people are going to start exploiting and figure out ways, but as far as I know, there's no real way to force that out unless you kind of swap your buddies in and out, in and out. I've done that before, so keep that in mind. Moving it on, we have more information here. Won't be necessary for your Pokemon to be best buddy trained up. So this is, you know, he's confirming this to us. It's because it's in the dialogue, and we're going to take a look at that. So have no fear. Do you need to get them to best buddy before you can start hyper training? It doesn't look like you need to. And we've discussed this before as well, that I was thinking we're going to probably have to get them to best buddy. Now I'm thinking we're probably just going to have to be a particular friendship level with them. Or what's going to even be a little bit more annoying is, say you reach a particular level of friendship. Say you get to best buddy and you just need to get it to 3 stars, but you got it all the way up to 4. It could ask you to simply earn 200 hearts. So you're going to have to do all over again. So keep that in mind too. I want to just make sure we're covering all the angles here so that people can't come back and, well, you told me to get to best buddy. It is a theory, and it is a way to be more prepared. If you're going to get something to 100% IV, you're going to get it to best buddy anyways, right? I'm just trying to make sure you're prepared. So just putting that out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fine print text here. So we have level 1. We'll ignore that. Moving on to level 2. So it has emotional indicator, encounter, and then consumables. So it looks like you're going to have, and that's like it's 70. Requires 70, maybe like 70 times you have to make that happen. And then the next one, it says 150 required. So, and then it kind of has the same things here, and then it has points of interest. Are we gonna have to find like a new Pokestop with our buddy, like, I don't know, 50 times? And it's giving you a year. So I'm thinking it could have something to do with that. Find 50 new Pokestops with your buddy, find 20 souvenirs, 50 souvenirs. I'm just throwing out a random number, okay? But I'm thinking those could be the way that they go. The souvenir being definitely one, because it seems like they love their I wouldn't call paywall, but just walling you for no reason and just shutting you down and slowing your progress, and that definitely will do it. And then finally, level 4, we have 300 points, or 300. It doesn't say where it says requirements, or it does kind of say points. And then we have CP boost, asset, points of interest, souvenirs, consumables, and indicator. So I'm thinking we're going to have to do a whole lot of buddy things to make this happen, and not just pet your buddy 400 times. I mean, like, pet your buddy 50 times or something like that. That's easy. Oh, they're going to make it difficult. So, yeah, prepare yourself. If you're making getting to best buddy right now, to prepare it. Maybe you want to slow it down. Or not, who knows, but just keep all this in mind. All right, I'm going to go ahead and throw this video up here. Just taking a look at a few things here. So we have a couple of 0 IVs, just for fun. Will I ever raise a 0 IV? I just want to talk about this. Hell no, I'm not going to raise my 0 IVs. And you shouldn't either. They're a souvenir, especially if they're shiny. I have a Shadow, but you're not going to be able to increase Shadow IV, so it doesn't really matter. Not that I would, because this is an extreme souvenir, especially because it's Snorlax. And then I have a Giraffe. What's the point? Why would I want to increase the shinies? I have better ones, so you're going to want to just keep your 0 IVs. Point is, you're not going to raise your 0s to 100s. I'm just being goofy. It's a theory. It's just a theory, right? Just a game theory. Oh, God, I can't stand that. All right, anyway, so taking a look at real things I would want to power up here, top off. I mean, we have this, 1 more point, 2 more points. Can't do shadows. Wouldn't work on Xerneas, or, I'd call it Xerneas. You know, that one, right? This is the one. Zacian's the one I'm going to work on, the shiny one, okay? Because Crown Zacian is going to be so damn good. I have another one that has a little bit better IVs that I can just raise, but I'll go ahead and go with that shiny one. I do definitely want to work on that Gengar Gigantamax as well. The shiny one, definitely going to be working on that. I have a whole bunch of other stuff here. Most of the things that I do have are just a couple of points away from being a 100% IV. Most of my things powered up here, maxed out, are 100% IV. For the most part, I have, you know, several ones that are not too good, but those are most likely going to be a shadow Pokemon. And again, you're not going to be able to raise your shadow Pokemon IV, so what's the point? Who cares? But yeah, folks, I just wanted to bring you some more information. As it keeps rolling out, I want to keep throwing at you and make sure you're prepared and ready for whatever's to come down to the pike here. Definitely one I'm going to work on is going to be my Zygarde. Oh, hell yeah. So it's going to be Zacian and then maybe Zygarde. Zygarde's not going to be meant for, obviously, raiding. This is strictly for Master League. But it was one of the rarest and is one of the hardest Pokemon that I actually was able to get. So I'm just going to go ahead and invest in that. But of course, Zacian is going to be number 1. I might even just work on a damn Zamazenta. I don't know. Technically, no. I think I'm just going to raid my ass off for that one. I don't want to really waste my bottle caps on that. Look, these things are not going to be raining from the sky. So you're going to have to really pick and choose what you want to use it on before we see it again. It's like the lucky trinket. It's going to be like that, all right? You don't get a whole bunch of them. Sure, they're coming in at a decent rate every other month or something like that, but you still are going to have to choose wisely on what you want to max out. So you have your Mythicals, you have Zarude, you have your Mews. Do you really want to go with those? Zarude's definitely a good option. If you have a shiny Mew and you really like it and you want to max it out, I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but hey, you're going to have a Shundo Mew. That's pretty freaking awesome, right? But here's the best one that I think that you should probably work on. That's going to be Marshadow. I want to raise the IVs on. Look at how horrible. Look at that. 10, 14, 10. Yeah, and I paid for that shit. Now we do have this one as well. This is also going to be another one worth investing in because it doesn't look like we're going to be able to just go out and Dynamax rate them or Gigantamax rate them for now. Eventually, I think we will because they do have Gigantamax forms. And you're also going to have another chance to get another one. I am going to pay the $7.99 in my area to try to get a better IV. And if I don't, then, oh well, at least I'm going to be able to do the task and complete those. And then I'll just have a third one on hand, right? But that's definitely going to be another one you want to work on because of how rare it is. So at this point, we're going to be able to have 3 of these Dynamax versions. But again, there's going to be a Gigantamax in the future. So think about it. It would be great to have the perfect IV, but we're going to get Gigantamax Machamp, which is a little bit lower as far as attack is compared to Urshifu, or however you want to say it. People are saying I want to say it wrong. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a damn. So there's that, okay? But, you know, just take it easy. You don't want to go too quick, but you do want to start thinking about what you want to potentially invest your bottle cap in because the damn thing will have a time limit. And then you're going to have a whole year, it seems like, subject to change, to increase those IVs on there. But hey, there you go, folks. Just wanted to drop that. A lot of information for this video here. So if you can give it a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.
Son. Hello. If you can hear me, congratulations. Way to go. Way to go. You made it through. You made it through. You spent all that time, and now you're done. You did it. That's quite an achievement. My gosh, you looked a 20-foot carnivore right in the eye, and you've lived to tell about it. Well, you are something. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with it, for not giving up. That is really something. Now, you know what you should do? Turn the thing off, for heaven's sakes, and go outside. You know, breathe the air, take a walk, call a member of the opposite sex. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you have a whole life out there. Get the stink blown off you. Just go. Go, really. Turn off. You. I mean, really. What was that? Hello. Okay, I go.